The quilting activities that started at the church were an outgrowth of the Missionary Society, the Women's Missionary Society of the Boones Creek Christian Church. During World War II, when the young men went off to war, the Women's Missionary Society decided that they wanted to quilt a quilt for each of the men who had gone off to war and give it to them whenever they came back. There were probably 20 women involved in the Missionary Society. These women were very prominent in the Boones Creek Christian Church and were all involved in this quilting activity. The families of the men who went off to World War II would actually do the piecing of the quilt. They would cut out the pieces, and sometimes they would sew them together. Sometimes they would have the women who were involved with the Missionary Society to sew them together. But the families would actually put the pieces together. My family has been in this church ever since its beginnings, 1825. Joseph Lee Clark was my great-grandfather, and my great-grandfather was an old country doctor. One of his children was named Charles C. Clark Sr. And this quilt that we're looking at here, the Lone Star quilt, which was quilted for Charles C. Clark Jr. He went off to war, served over in Europe, and came back, and his nickname was Junebug. That's what everybody knew him by. And this Lone Star quilt was quilted for him by these ladies that I named earlier. They actually went to his mother's home to do the quilting, and they would meet at least once a week, and they would meet in the homes of the boys. Well, they went to Aunt Retta Clark's home and did the quilting of this quilt. It would be an all-day event, and Aunt Retta Clark's two daughters, Edith Cox and Sue Overby, were young girls then, not married at the time, and they helped Aunt Retta cook dinner for the quilters as the quilters were doing the quilting. The quilting went on until they got the quilting done, and then they presented this quilt to Junebug whenever he came back from the war. I think it was 1944 when he got back.